Hey, what's up out there? This is episode 2 of these podcast things I'm gonna start doing. Actually, I had another episode 2 I was gonna do, or actually already did, but I decided I'm gonna scrap it. It's like 2 hours long, it didn't have to be that long. And yes, I lost 2 hours of my day several weeks ago, but I decided to do this one instead, and I don't think this one will be as long. As far as that other one, I'm gonna try to reorganize it so it's not as long and say what's important instead of rambling on. So this one I titled Favs versus Best, or Best versus Faves. I don't know, whichever. Doesn't really matter. But anyways, what does that mean? Well, what I mean is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much a band could offer, but it's the catchiness of a song that really dictates everything. So let me give you an example of something that happened. And I'm gonna be talking about vocal groups because that's really up my alley. So what happened was I was doing some research on One Direction vocals. I was trying to listen out for some One Direction vocals, and then I had found some like stripped down vocals or stripped down tracks. So it had One Direction's vocals pretty much isolated. And so this girl ends up commenting that she thinks that One Direction is better than Backstreet Boys. And so, personally, I don't think that's true. I don't think One Direction is better than Backstreet Boys as far as arrangement and what the band has to offer. And so I ended up commenting to this girl saying, personally, I don't think so. I think on a harmony level, Backstreet Boys definitely takes the cake on this one. And I went into a little bit of detail so I can sort of, bring up a good argument, so I can show her that I at least know what I'm talking about. And so I think the safest thing to do is I don't remember if she commented back to me. I think perhaps she did, saying like, "Oh, they're new, they're still gonna learn." I think that sounds about right to me, but I think the safest thing to do is to say, and there's not gonna be people like me who are gonna comment to this girl. I just decided to do that randomly for some reason. Um, but I think the safest thing to do is to say I like One Direction better than Backstreet Boys, because see, that is something I can respect, because I know for a fact that um what a band or a group has to offer doesn't really matter. It's all about the catchiness of the song, right? Everybody has an attraction to a certain kind of noise, and that's the beautiful thing about music. I have an appreciation for all kinds of music, whether it be like screamo or country. I'm just glad that people have found that thing that that's it's a sound that they're into, and they found their place in music. And that's really cool. That whole thing's a video for another time. I can talk about music and discrimination and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm gonna try to make this uncut. Yeah. Okay, so here's another example, and I'll use myself as an example. So let's use Boys to Men and Backstreet Boys, okay? So what do I think about Boys to Men? Obviously, I think Boys to Men's incredible. I think they're a class act, and they're really great at their craft. I think they have a lot to offer vocally. Just a very good showcase of vocals throughout their whole career. The harmonies, the acapellas, the climactic songs, big choruses. I think Boyz II Men are like really up there. They're like on the top of vocal group. Out of the vocal group kingdom, Boyz II Men you can be found on the top. Do I think Boyz II Men's better than Backstreet Boys? I think I'd say yes. I think Boyz II Men is better than Backstreet Boys on the level of I think they have more to offer vocally, though they are less. I just think they have. I think it's more they have shown or have given us more. And as far as Backstreet Boys, I don't think they lose to Boyz II Men by an incredible amount. But like after all, they do look up to Boyz II Men quite a lot and did try a little bit to amount to something on their level, but they just didn't for whatever reason. I feel like they could have, but they just didn't. Or maybe I don't know. That's very arguable. But I don't think Backstreet Boys loses to Boyz II Men by a whole lot. But do I like Boyz II Men better than Backstreet Boys? For that, I'd have to say no. Some people might be like, "What? You crazy, man? You crazy? You just said that Boyz II Men is better than Backstreet Boys, and you're gonna say that you like Backstreet Boys better than Boyz II Men?" Yeah, man, I'd say so because who do I listen more to? I listen to Backstreet Boys more. Um, I actually own some of their CDs. I know more of their songs. I find myself listening to Backstreet Boys way more, and quite frankly, just all around, I like their songs better. Um, because I find their songs catchier, and I'm more drawn to it. See, this is what I mean of best versus faves, meaning that you can have a band that has more to offer, and critically, people would say they are better, but may not be your favorite. And can you come to terms with that? Because some people are like, oh, like these guys are the best, but like obviously they're not the best because they don't have as much to offer as like some bands or groups, right? But so that's something I can respect. So if someone says like, oh, I like this better than this, like let's say that here's an example of something happened. This girl made a grave mistake, and she decided to comment on a video saying that she thinks One Direction is better than the Beatles. Oh, darling, you made a grave mistake. This girl got chewed up. How can you say the Beatles are a weaker musical act than One Direction? That's literally impossible. Literally impossible. I barely need to explain why the Beatles are better than One Direction. Just in every single way, better than One Direction. Every band that came after them would say that the Beatles are like at least a little bit of an influence. A lot of them would say they're a huge influence. They're pioneers in a lot of ways. Commercially, they're how successful they were and everything. Their artistry, what they did, and their artistic abilities. Man, it's hard to match that. But like One Direction, they're just a vocal group comprised of people who didn't really know how to harmonize to begin with. Were heavily coached into doing it, and on top of that, they're not as cool as say a lot of other vocal groups that really took note of this and took vocal harmony seriously. And so yeah, so maybe what this person meant to say was that she likes One Direction better than the Beatles. See, even at that girl would get chewed up, but a guy like me, I can totally understand that, and I respect that because she's more drawn to it. She's more drawn to the catchiness of One Direction songs. She's probably into the power pop songs, pop and whatever One Direction has to offer as far as music. So I can totally get that. So that's a little bit of my thoughts. I don't think this video is going to be that long, but I'm sure a lot of you can sit about it and think about it and have similar feelings. I do love Boyz II Men. I think Boyz II Men's great, but yes, I like Backstreet Boys, for example, better, even though I would consider Backstreet Boys weaker of the two as far as what the group offered during their career. Arguably, their career is still ongoing. They still have some chances. Backstreet Boys have said that they are bringing back the harmonies on many occasions, which excites me. So I'm really excited about that. I really hope they double their efforts into making cool arrangements because Backstreet Boys is highly respected and they have a decent showcase, but I know they could give us more, but they just haven't. Like, they end up doing like really standard stuff from time to time, and it ends up being pushed forward. A lot of their popular songs are have pretty standard harmonies. Some of them are pretty cool, some of them are okay, some of them are like really whatever. Um but yeah. So I think the point that I'm trying to make is um although people will have respect for people who really pour themselves out there artistically in their music, and it's like super complex, super intricate, really cool stuff. You can get some dude live, uncut, singing with a banjo, and people will be more drawn to it because their brains were more drawn to it, and that would become it would even become more popular than the song that had a lot to offer inside it. You know what I mean? Kind of like how like classical music, how complex and how complicated everything was arranged, right? But I would say that most people don't listen to classical music that much, even though like the people who do like it have this like massive respect for it because of how detailed everything is. So yeah, that will basically sum up this video. Not too long, not too long. It's got 11 minutes or so. Anyways, peace and love. Thanks for watching. Tell me what you guys think, and if you have been in a situation like this. And yeah, peace and love. Until next time.